5 degrees Fahrenheit now. Let's stay overnight with the super shelter, wearing only the clothes that we have on. Yeah.
Now you know you can survive.
This tree is solid right here because of this branch. Now the wind is coming from the north, so I want to make our shelter 90 degrees to the wind, so the wind doesn't go straight in or eddy back into it. We need to have a fire tonight. It's going to be tough to stay warm without it in these conditions, minus walking around all night and not getting any sleep, which is a possibility, and then maybe sleeping if you could later in the day the next day. The only downside to this spot is that it's sloped, so for our insulation bed we need to really pile up a whole bunch here, but I think having all the resources in this area outweighs the work that puts into making an insulation bed a little bit higher at the feet. So I'm in a tiny little valley. I'm blocked by a big rock behind me, and with all the wind that's coming, we want to minimize that wind chill. So we're down this little gully trying to get all these trees around us as much as possible. We need to collect a lot of wood. We have that tree for firewood. We have these for firewood. This one for firewood. All these right here, along with all this grass to start for an insulation bed. Plus I like this is a harder wood, these aspens, versus the ponderosa pines that are predominant out here. These aspens will burn a lot longer. So to secure the corner, the softest of material, you can even use snow for this, as long as it doesn't melt. Put it around the corner, and then use your slip knot that you learned from the knots video. Tighten that on, and that's a good way to secure it. Now you don't want to do everything you can not to rip this. If you do rip it, put some tape on it if you have it, but it rips like a potato chip bag. Now, you can't pound it into the ground because it's frozen for stakes, so you can wrap up a log, and I did that on the front and the back. And so on the inside here, I'm going to mainly get in on this side over here. That side's tied down, and that'll give me enough room. It's small inside here. You have a little bit of an air barrier, which helps hold some heat in between the mylar and the plastic. And then you want to seal up the ends too on the sides. But it's already 3 o'clock. You know, in survival, sometimes you need to set small goals because you just want to give up. It's 0 degrees out right now. I want to give up. And I just said, well, let me just tie this knot and then do the next thing and then the next thing. Small attainable goals make you feel better. And before you know it, you're done and go on to the next priority. So this was a priority here. Clothing is number one. You're not going to last long without some good clothing. Now, if I didn't have any good clothes on, I would have to go immediately to a fire, get that going, because I'm exposed to the elements. Then I could go back and forth to that fire as I'm working on my shelter. All right, let's go on to the next priority, fire. Even though these sticks are on the ground, they're not. They're up above the ground, they're dry, so it'll be okay to collect them. They're not touching, but we need a platform and brace. The thing is, with a platform and a brace, you put a platform down for pieces of wood, and then you use another piece of wood as a prop to keep your wood from smothering the tinder. A lot of people think it's common sense, but when it's cold, you're tired, wet, hungry, you're out surviving. And when I was teaching people for 20 years out in the mountains, 99% of the people didn't know about it. Best small stuff ready to go, nice and organized here. We have our Vaseline and cotton ball. When you want to open it up, this is saturated with Vaseline, and that'll light up. And the cotton acts as a wick, and that lights up too. All you need to do is 90 degrees one way, 90 degrees the other way. Put it down. I have my best small stuff ready to go. See, we have our platform, so the Vaseline that soaks out of it is going to sit there on the platform and continue to burn. Shave some of this metal match off. This one, you have to go at a certain speed for it to work. It needs to go quicker. So it lit up all the rest of the magnesium and shavings in there. Then get your best small stuff, put it on, use your brace. So we have our brace so we're not smothering our tinder. Then put the next small stuff on, broken down into our tinder, our kindling, and then eventually our fuel over here. If it needs more oxygen, we can lift up on the brace. Let that burn. You can feel the heat coming through. Things need to start drying out. Just be patient. But that's why it's important to have a whole bunch of small stuff to get that coal base going. So then from there, keep putting more wood on, let it dry out, and there you go, you have your fire going. You want to be careful in the Arctic. When it's cold enough out, even green branches, stuff that's alive, is going to snap like it's dead. So you really want to use those parameters like I talked about in the other videos. Checking the cambium layer, doing your due diligence to make sure that it's dead and dry. I keep piling this stuff on because that's hot. It's going in there, it's drying that stuff out. This is called the Siberian firelight for some reason. It must come from Siberia. So once these start going, you can spread these out a bit, and then just the ends will burn. Then you can push it up, and it'll keep going throughout the night a lot longer. This right here is actually a pretty wet piece of wood, if not green. It was down on the ground. The tree got blown over. Once these logs are up off the ground, it keeps it from burning so fast. Oh, let's get that burning. Keep some sticks going under here. Get that going. Then we'll be able to start to relax. It's just about dark. Got some snow melting in the number 10 can. We used to get those from the chow hall on base. Working on base, and we have the students get them as well. And just cook our rabbit and cook other things out in the woods. Just under 80 degrees Fahrenheit in here. It's glorious. Oh, be able to sleep for an hour or two, wake up, put some wood on. That's just the name of the game. That's an 80-degree temperature change from inside to outside. 12 o'clock in the morning, just slept for a couple hours. Got up, put some wood on. It was cold. Now it's starting to warm back up. I'll go back to sleep. 2:30 in the morning, put some more wood on. 0 degrees Fahrenheit. My camera died. About 40, 50 degrees in the shelter. It's still a lot warmer, but just uncomfortable enough to not be able to sleep right now. So I wanted to move around. The fire is cranked now. We'll see how long that lasts. You don't want to put too much wood on or stack it in a way it burns too fast, and it burns up too fast. And too fast is cold. Sure feels good though. I just woke up. It's 4:55. 50 degrees. You're just under 50 degrees. Oh, I slept for 2.5 hours. And the fire. Here's what happens. Oh, we got enough wood. Make another couple hours, no problem. Now we're at 100-degree temperature difference from inside to outside. 5:15 in the morning. I could get up. I feel so good. Let's lay here. Maybe I'll fall back asleep. I fell back asleep. Still, after 2 hours at 62 degrees. I don't know how I slept so much. I guess I was tired. Let's see how the fire looks. It warmed up a few degrees. 4 degrees Fahrenheit. That's how much wood we have left. The Siberian fire lay is awesome at conserving wood. But you need some bigger pieces. And that takes effort, but it pays out in the long run. Spend another hour cutting the wood, which will equal hours longer of sleep at night. A lot better night last night sleeping than I thought I was gonna get. As good as it can be at 0 degrees with no sleeping bag. I collected a little bit more grass and then tried to put that on my backside. More grass would have been better, even making a little nest inside there. Along the backside, the whole backside to create some insulation, and then the front side absorbing that heat. That can make it a little bit better. But man, 7 o'clock in the morning, I slept that long on those interval stretches in between putting wood on the fire. Last night, I didn't want to go to sleep. I didn't think I was going to get much sleep. I wasn't feeling very good. But it worked out. Sometimes in survival, you just got to fight through stuff like that. Take it one step at a time, just like we said earlier. All in all, great night's sleep. Now you know you can survive. We'll see you on the next one. Keep surviving.